So work recently had me. What are you chuckling? Because I do this.
That's been like your go-to like show starter for like the last like month or so. It's like you didn't hit the record button. I'm in the middle of taking a sip. Look how
that's not true.
how organic this is.
Sometimes I take a swig of a beer and I go, let me tell you something right there.
Hold on. Oh, this thing's on. Let's see. What was I gonna say to you guys? It's just a totally off the cuff comment.
It's like my Michael Buffer. Let's get ready to rumble. You know, it's my trademark. So it's made me famous. So I was down in DC for work. We were doing end user training for a room that company that we hired to outfit this conference room with new audio visual equipment. And it was a big deal. It was one of these things where they said, we're just training the trainers. Okay. The people who manage the room, the people who schedule the room, the people who, if they need help, troubleshooting, set something up, someone comes in with a thumb drive and says, oh, this is where my PowerPoint is. Can you load it for me? Anywho, what happened was it ended up being like 30 people showing up. Okay. One of which was a guy who was about a tick below the secretary of the USDA, the Department of Agriculture. Don't know who it was, but they were like, oh yeah, that was a big deal that he was in here. And what I equate this to was, and I told someone this, I got one person who doesn't have a sense of humor. They were like, yeah. Two people who, totally get it. Like, that's 100% what this was. It reminded me of a high school keg party. You tell... Or a high school party, a house party, or whatever. And you tell a couple friends, he's like, hey, you mind if I tell Jeremy and Chris? Yeah, tell Jeremy and Chris. Hey, you mind if Keith and Tom roll over too? Well, shit, what are we getting to? 7 people? If we keep it down to adult roar, 7 will be all right. Hey, you mind if Tommy and Pete come over as well? And then before you know it, an hour later, it's 150 fucking people in there. It was word of mouth. It was a keg party in this conference room.
No, it doesn't sound like a keg party. It sounds like the Dweebopolis is what it sounds like. The dorks unite! The USDA's coming! Everyone run! True. Let's talk about food stamps and agriculture.
It's probably true. I don't know though. Here's the real question from corporate America. Mm-hmm. Were there snacks? Who provided food? Did somebody provide food? Was it a lunch and learn? Because like I'll show up in a conference room that has nothing to do with me if there's fucking Sammy's or like some other kind of fucking snack. So I get how it goes. This was just pure fucking, I want to know what these guys are fucking peddling.
Wow. No food or snacks provided.
Damn.
It was only about a half an hour long. And I went down there.
Still though.
I went down there as a figurehead because there had been some hiccups, some road bumps that were unforeseen, but we're getting down to the nitty gritty. And I wanted to wear my company's polo and it's like, hi, I'm the guy that's been emailing you nonstop for the last month. That's me, project manager, PMP.
I can study. Did the guy from the USDA? Listen, the guy from the USDA. I feel like
all of them were USDA employees.
Then as soon as they walk in, I genuinely feel like they should open up their suit jackets and there should be a variety of cuts of meat under their jackets, and someone should show 100%. Up with a hot plate and be like, USDA's here, boys. And just like Sam Elliott starts like narrating the sizzling of like the beef. All right, we're going to have a meeting today. During this meeting, we're going to have some grass-fed ribeye. They're going to be delicious. We're going to talk about where these ribeye came from and how to sustain them. Wes, floor is yours for PMP.
It's fun. I don't know if it's pun intended, but I got a chuckle out of the fact that you said this is a meeting. So you're saying this would be like an 80s comedy where the guy's wearing a trench coat and opens it up and it's like cell phones and sunglasses, but except it's meat.
Yes. Yes. Honestly, yes.
That would be awesome. I was going to go a different route. Like most corporate fucking things you've seen on TV and movies, like, Coca-Cola, you can drink all the flavors of Coca-Cola, even fucking Coca-Colas that they ain't even out yet. They're just experimental Coca-Cola. Same fucking thing, but with meats. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, you think killing baby cows is wild? How about try out these baby kangaroos? And you're like, holy shit, this meat is so fucking supple. And you're like, yeah, it's just wild shit like that. That's how I would see it. Like a cafeteria of meats, cuts of meats. and just fucking exotic ones too. Shit's probably illegal, honestly, but it's the USDA, so fuck it.
This is wild macaque and emu caught from South Carolina.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Fresh.
Yeah.
We're not sure if we can contain the problem, so we're actually experimenting with, future gains versus future losses.
Yeah. This would be the equivalent of a ribeye on the anatomy of this emu. Much larger.
They like age and smoke like seized exotic animal, like Joe Exotic's fucking tigers are in a fucking meat locker, just waiting to hit primo fucking consumption point. You
wouldn't believe how tender macaque is.
Macaque. Come again?
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah. And this is another interesting thing. Alan, as a salesperson, you'll appreciate that. And Murr, you're not in sales, but you can appreciate this. And joining us from the DU football podcast, Sam Houston, thank you for joining. I understand that you're in sales as well.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah,
so again,
kind of fun.
So I'm not, but when I'm doing something like that, if I'm on a sign off, I'm trying to look for other things that the salesperson that I'm managing this project for can possibly ask them about. They had extension cords on the ground for people to plug their laptops into, and they had extension cords plugged into extension cords for the other end of the table. And they said, no, we don't have the money for that. Can't do any floor track. I was like, oh, so you're just gonna leave these things laying around on the ground? Nice big industrial ones too, like 12 and 13 plugs.
Nice.
Was that driving you nuts or something? Like what's
totally, man. It's like my ADD, because I used to do events where you had to tape all that shit down and make it like somewhat obsolete or just more of an ornament that didn't look so funky. And they dropped like 30 grand on this fucking room, and they have extension cords plugged into extension cords. It's like, you guys couldn't have just shelled out a few more thousand for Christ, at least some cable covering.
Wow.
Or like I'm sure they have some big fancy conference room table, like I know our conference room table has plugs in it, and it's just like, there we go, bam, done, easy peasy, there you go, like don't have to worry about it. And this is like a 30-person conference room. There's like basically at each chair you can plug in multiple things if you wanted to. I don't know why you would need to, but yeah. That's the USDA, baby.
The little thing that's built into the table that can flip up, and not only does it have a 3-prong plug, it has a USB outlet. You know,
it does.
Look, if the USDA guy ain't showing up with exotic meats for everyone to sample, you ain't getting no fucking floor coverings for your stupid extension cords. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. People can't walk around without falling over themselves. People know what cords are. Fucking goddamn, Wes.
Yeah, it's something you sing. It's a chord. But
from a sales perspective, sales guy should have closed that deal, though. I mean, come on. We're going to do a whole new conference room, and you're going to be running extension cords? Stop it. I wasn't involved, but I did pass it along to my team. So we'll see. We'll see what the 2025 budget calls for the USDA. Now you got to wait fucking 3 whole cycles.
Yeah. All right. Well, without further ado, I do want to welcome Sam Houston from the DU Football Show. Thank you for jumping on.
Thank you, boys. Appreciate it.
So usually what we do is when we get a new guest, especially one who does their own podcast, we do a quick Q&A. So tell us about the origins of the Drunkard United Football Show, how it got started, and where you are today.
All right. So got started with myself and my fellow co-host. To make it really easy, we're both Sam. So Sam Graham, Sam Houston. We both work in the liquor biz, which means we're in our cars a lot and we're driving a lot, which means we're talking to each other on the phone a lot. And inevitably, we talk about a bunch of things. We're either bitching about sales, bitching about accounts, or we're talking about footy. And he's a big front-running asshole. He loves Arsenal, even though they're a bunch of choke jobs. And he is also very quietly low-key, well, maybe not low-key, became Alan's arch nemesis.
Yeah,
Well,
not low key at all. I don't know how it happened. Two swinging dicks in the room, you know.
It's not hard. It's not hard, Alan, from sitting on this side of the screen. It's not hard to become your arch nemesis.
That's fair.
I
That's
think
reasonable.
he considers me his hetero life mate, even though we're both married,
true.
and he's
That's
very
true.
protective. And he discovered that you and I are both cut from the same cloth, and he didn't like that, so he decided Alan no good.
It's so
we were
good.
talking about it. We were just talking about it all the time, and myself. I'm a big radiophile. I'm a Gen Xer, so really into kind of that guy talk radio from back in the day. You know, you think of Opie and Anthony, Don and Mike, Howard Stern, the Junkies, Big O and Dukes, that kind of, and that's all. A lot of those are some hyper local shows, but you kind of think of that, and that's really the kind of entertainment I liked. And we were talking about, podcasting we're now 7 years doing the show. So we were kind of talking a little bit about how, like, why don't we do something with soccer? Why don't we do something with footy? So one night over a bottle of really expensive cognac, we just put up our iPhone and recorded ourselves and said, do we sound shitty or not? And we had a few friends listen to it and they were like, you're not bad. Like, there's bones there. You know what you're doing. And, we got very lucky, had friends that did a show that gave us a board. And my wife is our producer, completely self-taught. And we just started rolling into it and learned things here and there along the way, did bits, broke up the show into segments, stuff like that. Just the little fun things. Like, anybody tries to go and listen to like our very first episode, I already told our producer, I was like, just get rid of them. Like, get rid of the entire first year. I don't want people to hear that. The sound quality is so bad, and it just, it's when you're working towards something, it's like, if that's going to be somebody's first impression, they are not going to like it. And it's dated. It's from 7 fucking years ago, right? Yeah. And we're a week-to-week show. Like, people are like, oh, what show should I listen to? The one we just recorded, because those are the games that just got played. So that's where we are now. It's been a fun ride. Really enjoy doing it. It's it's, you boys know, it's addicting doing a show. It really, really is. And you just get used to it.
So I'll ask the first question. And one of the things I found at least that you guys have honed in on is, and I don't know if you do too many of these, and I attended one pre-COVID. I know that the COVID era probably screwed some things up, but doing the live show I went to a brewery and I found that amazing. You guys between at halftime you recorded a little bit, at the end of the game you recorded a little bit, and it was fascinating. And it just, at least from my vantage point, inspiring to think like, okay, Christ, I would like to sit at a fucking brewery on a microphone and get people hyped up and drink beer at 9 o'clock in the morning. My question to you is this. Now, Alan kind of gave me his own version of how he got tied into it, but as I understand it, you guys have a quote unquote super fan from each club, correct?
Yeah. So when we first started doing the show, the idea of the show, and I did kind of brush over this, was as we wanted to do something about footy, the things we wanted to do about footy was to be about the entire league. There are 2 types of shows right now for the Premier League or just soccer, football in general. And that is either very team specific, right? So you have your club, you listen to that. That's going to be the X's and O's. You're not going to come listen to 2 dumbasses talk about X's and O's. And the other thing is if they talk about the whole league, they normally talk about the 6 successful teams. That's it. And if they lose to one of the other 14, they'll spend the entire time talking about how that team lost and not about how the other team won. And we wanted to do a show that covered every single game, every single week. So all 10 matches are talked about. Even if it's just a quick couple, 2-3 minutes, everyone still gets talked about. And with that, we really wanted to kind of incorporate the entire community. And the bit for us is, a recap of the English Premier League is told by 2 common American schmucks. Like, lean into it, right? English people say we don't know shit about footy when, like, I've played my entire fucking life. I've watched the game my entire life. I know a little bit about the sport. And so lean into that, and then find people that are stateside that really love their clubs and give them a voice to talk about their clubs. And the fun thing we ultimately did with that is we turned it into essentially what is our opening show every year is we call it the 20 for 20 shit show. And it is 20 fans of 20 clubs. And we tell them, we're like, we try our damnedest to, well, no, correction. I try my damnedest to keep it in line, but Graham likes the sound of his voice more than me. And it ends up being like every segment goes 10 minutes and the show's 2 hours. Yeah. And it's insanity, but it's really fun. And it's brought a lot of people to the show, and it's, you know, brought some novices, some people that don't know a lot about the game, you know, kind of be a little more open and welcoming and not so fucking gatekeepy.
Yeah.
My question is this, because I actually, my dad did his like entire lineage and went back in time to see where they were from on the island, the British Isle. And how do generally people pick the squad that they follow from over there? Is there like a rhyme or reason to it? Do you just find the mascot that you dig? I mean, like if I was to get into watching, because again, I don't know the difference between like the Champions League, the Premier League, all that. How would I go about deciding what club I was going to follow? Would I just catch a game one day and be like, that's my team?
So we've done this before. We've done it was a bachelorette, but pick your team. We did an entire season where on the 20 for 20 show, she sat in quietly and listened to everybody. And then right at the end, we bring her in and she's like, well, I'm down to these 6 people. You 14 suck. Right.
Wow.
And then she watched the whole season and kind of watched each club, went to local bars that were supporters groups for those clubs, things like that, just little by little. And by the end of the season, she found a team. That's kind of how I tell other people to do it too. Like if you're going to get into it, first, you got to like the sport, right? If you don't like the sport, you're not going to get into it. But just get up in the morning, turn on Peacock and watch a random game. Then make sure you don't watch the same 2 teams play the next week.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Watch, and then if you find interest in them, okay, Google them, look up Wikipedia, learn what their fight songs are, learn what their history is. A lot of these clubs go all the way back to the 1870s, 1890s, early 1900s. So there's a lot of history about their clubs. Find that kind of stuff out. Then you know, as you start to get a little more interested, find out who supports them locally, who's at a bar somewhere that you can go and see a game. You know, it's like going and hanging out with Alan and the Mobtown Magpies at the Abbey in Mount Washington. It's like that's what you do. You just go and you kind of your team's gonna pick you ultimately. You're not really gonna pick your team. It's gonna be oh, I really like these songs. I really like this player. I like these chants. I like this history. I like these people I'm fucking hanging out with on, 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. And that's really kind of how much more organic than just going, I'm from here. I'm going to like them.
Sure. Well, I guess my question would be, though, because over there, are like the people that are fans of those clubs in Europe, aren't they from basically that town? Because like it's really communal over there. And so I guess my logic was like my family at some point in there before they jumped on a boat and traveled across the Atlantic, they were from this specific region. And I've narrowed it down to like a single town. Like, should I just be like, fuck it, they're the 12th place team in the league, but they're my team because I don't have a choice?
I would say look into them, right? See if there's a connection. See if you like them. I mean, they might just be a bunch of pricks. Like the organization might not be very cool. You might not like them. You might not like their songs. You might meet some of their fans and be like, they're just assholes. Like so, but tying it into where you're from is, good. The other thing to keep in mind, too, is a lot of cities are not one club towns. They're not like Newcastle. It's, my club is Everton and they're in Liverpool. And there's 2 clubs in Liverpool. There's Liverpool and there's Everton. And they're separated by a mile-long park. Imagine the Ravens are playing at M&T Bank Stadium. That's where they're playing. About 10 years into their career, they're successful, they're doing well. They get kicked out, and the city decides to buy a team and call them, Baltimore now, right? You then go across the park to Camden Yards, and that's where your team is, right? That's Everton and Liverpool.
Wow.
Everton was there. So the running joke for an Everton supporter is like, the first title at Anfield was won by us. Fuck you, because and it's so it depends on the city you're in. And like in a town like London, you can get so hyper focused on is it West London, is it South London, if it's North London. North London is Tottenham and Arsenal, and that's just less than a mile away. So it really that can come into play too. If there's a certain city you're from, there's multiple teams you could choose.
Wow.
Yeah, there was. As a matter of fact, I did join Alan for a game at the Abbey Burger in Mount Washington, and I was in just normal street clothes, and Alan was kind of introducing me to a few folks, and a diehard was there, and he said, "Wait, are you a supporter now?" And says, "No, I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get him into it." He's like, "Why not?" And I said, "All right, well." And I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes first. I said, like, first of all, growing up, I was a Dennis Bergkamp fan. I wasn't an Arsenal fan. I just liked the football player Dennis Bergkamp.
Mm-hmm.
But let me be crystal clear. And then I said, I know what my fandom means to the teams in United States sports that I follow. I know where the grassroots came from, and I know how passionate I am. So if I'm going to pick a team, I got to be 100% certain. Because these chips are getting all pushed in. I can't be wishy-washy about it. And it's a very difficult decision for me. And after I got done, mind you, that explanation was about 5 minutes, and he stopped, paused, took a drink of his drink, and said, "That sounds like rubbish, man. Sounds like absolute rubbish. Just be a Magpie fan."
Yeah,
I'll try.
Basically. No, I think Sam said something good though. Like Bert, we actually over here we have a luxury that really they don't have in England, and it's that we can watch these games fucking so easily. Like there's nothing on a Saturday or Sunday morning at 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. Like or even fucking noon. Honestly, like so you can always pop a game on, and there's usually 1 or 2 or 3 in a row depending on the day. And you could see these different teams and be like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's interesting. That stadium's fucking sweet. Like, that's a big part of it, too. Stadium atmospheres and shit like that. You start
songs they sing, the way they mock other players. But the other fun thing, and even better, Peacock has its own fucking red zone. On Saturday mornings, there's a goal zone. So if my team's playing and I got to watch all 10 matches, my team's on the main screen and I got my computer right there with goal zone. So every time there's a goal, I mute my TV, hit the unmute on the computer to try to keep up on everything as well. Because heck, I mean, I got like TikToks and crap like that to do by halftime anyways as well. But you can literally just watch the goals. Like they'll have one game going and every time there's a goal, they'll cut to the goals for you even too.
Yeah, and just watch the cool part.
Yeah, I know, but for me, that's always been the beauty of soccer. It's the build up to the goal that makes the game the game.
See, you appreciate the sport.
There you go.
You can get into it easily.
From there, then, honestly, just start watching matches. Like, watch a few matches, learn a little bit about the clubs. You'll tend to find yourself. I mean, like, let's face it. I mean, I'm from PG County and born in DC. And for people that aren't hyper local listeners of this show, Baltimore and DC are very separate pieces of mind, right? Like you are a Ravens fan or you are a Commanders fan, or as I call them, the Red Football Commander Skins team. But
solid.
You're
That's
one or
better.
the other. You're not both. You aren't, right? And people will be like, "Oh, I'm from Maryland." They'll go Baltimore. You'd be like, "No, I'm from Annapolis. I'm from DC." Outside, like, or people say, "Oh, you're from Maryland. Oh, you're from DC." You're like, "No, I'm from Baltimore." Like, you have that kind of attitude.
Yeah, it's territorial.
And there's a lot of working class clubs that may really speak to you that have nothing to do with regionality in your family. You just might just be like, "Shit, I really like Wolverhampton. It's, just outside of Birmingham. It's an old kind of, old iron town, and it's the birth of, bands like Black Sabbath and stuff like that." And then you find out like famous people who like them. You're like, "Oh, Ozzy Osbourne's an Aston Villa fan, and Robert Plant is a Wolves fan," and they're like die-hard fans, not kind of like fucking around fans. They are die-hard into it too.
Wow.
See, Mur, I'm picturing you. Listen, I know you. And I'm picturing you in your pajamas on a Saturday or Sunday morning with a cup of coffee before the fam wakes up, getting in 90 Not well, more than 90 minutes, about 2 hours of football before anyone wakes up. Your adrenaline's pumping, the caffeine's in you. Maybe you get a donut or a muffin or some sort of sweet to chomp it down with, and you'd be ready to roll, man. You'd be ready to go. Take on the world. You might tell your son, let's go in the backyard. I'm going to show you a thing or two, and just kick the shit out of him.
Kick the shit out of
Yeah.
him.
No, for me, it's like, I guess because it's from somewhere else and because there's not like this geographic location that I can like attach myself to. I don't know. It's harder. Do you wish that American football on this soil, like the MLS, do you wish it would elevate? Can it ever elevate to a point where you would become a fan of it? Or are you just so locked into what you've been doing and watching for so long now that you don't think you could make the switch?
Would I like it to be as successful? Absolutely. God, I would love it to be. Will it ever be? No. The way that it's set up just on a structural level, the biggest thing that they're never going to do is they will never have promotion and relegation. It will always have this, there's drafts and stuff like that, which is so American of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whenever I talk to people about footy that don't know a lot about it, I automatically lead with, oh, by the way, if you're one of the last 3 teams in the league, you're out. You're gone. You're fucking gone. And you lose hundreds of millions of dollars. You don't get the first round pick. Fuck off. You don't get to be better. There isn't this equal sharing of TV revenue. Oh, you're in 20th place. You get a 20th place payment of fucking TV money because that's what we think of you. So it's really, there are haves and have nots. And when you start to see clubs improve and get better, and also get financially better, particularly Allen's club is the best case of it, is that they got hit with 8 influx of cash because a fucking country owns them,
Yeah. The Saudis, baby.
Whoa. By proxy.
Proxy wars are still wars, Alan.
It's very true. We would know.
Yes, we would.
And they allegedly do things to journalists by proxy too, I mean, but because of that city, that club, that fan base has gotten, they're starting to rise and get better. And the club my wife supports, Aston Villa, got a really good coach. They made Champions League. They're progressing. They're getting better. And there's a lot of fun in that. And the MLS will never, ever, ever do that. They just won't.
Yeah. I think you're right about it being too much of an Americanized version of an old sport, because when I started watching Welcome to Wrexham and they really did a good job of explaining the system, the pyramid system.
They did.
I was like,
they did a very good job.
Shit. Okay. That's, there's some skin in the game there. To watch an entire town essentially fall apart because their soccer team is no good all of a sudden. And it's just like a bunch of dudes have been sitting around just drinking dirty beer for fucking 40 years praying. And now all of a sudden they've got tourism. People are coming to watch the game. The town's starting to turn around all because of one sports team. And again, to see them go up the tier system, I try to explain to people, it's like if the last place team in Major League Baseball next year had to be in AAA, they might be the best team in AAA, or they might not be. It might be 5 years.
Right back up. They might come right back up, but still, that money lost, and also there is free agency, but it's more of a bought and sold commodity, right? A player is sold in a transfer market. If a player's good enough to still be in the Premier League and their team gets demoted, that player normally has it written into their contract that they have to be sold. So not only does your team go down, you're suddenly minus all your fucking starters. They're all gone. Yeah. You now have and you're minus money, and you have to finance a team. So there's a lot that goes into that.
I would say the added layer of the championship is just grueling. This is the level down. It's more game. It's more matches on a shorter scale.
More teams.
It's more teams. It's a fucking brutal. Even the best teams that go down, it's a bitch to get right back up. You don't. Not many teams come right back up. And I would liken it to, like he said, if you were to put the last place baseball team, now you're minor league team. Now you ain't flying. You're on fucking buses, bud. You're taking buses to Raleigh. You're overnighting it. You're taking that bus to Raleigh and then down to fucking Tampa. overnight because you got 2 games back to back. This ain't fucking fun anymore. This shit's work. And that's the level that you end up going to. So even like, sizable clubs that go down are like, fuck, this is a bitch. And you don't always come right back.
You've also seen clubs that have fallen all the way to the bottom. Like Wrexham was in the top flight at one point. It wasn't the Premier League at the time, but they were. And they fell all the way out of the league. Like you see that all the time. So whenever a team kind of fights their way back up, there's always like a soft spot for any footy fan. You're like, last year, holy shit, Luton Town got up. They've never been in the Premier League. They haven't been in the top flight since the 60s. This is kind of awesome. I don't want them to beat my team, but it's kind of awesome they're here,
Yeah.
And it's very fun. Now
and you get to see cool stadiums when you see those teams. Not to cut you off, Sam, but then you get like Luton came up. Luton holds, I think, less than 10,000 people, and fucking like it's very fair. There are very famous pictures of it. But when you walk into Luton, you basically walk through someone's like an old row home. So you see someone's backyard. Like you could see people's laundry hanging in the backyard as you walk through the entrance to the stadium because it's so fucking old. It's just a little fucking tiny little ground that holds less than 10,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you're a big club and you go in there and you go down 1-0, that 10,000 feels like 100,000 because they are right fucking on top of you. And you're just like, you hear everything, every rude thing they're saying, you hear it all. And you think heckling could be bad, like at a baseball game from behind home plate. So like, this is just right on top of you. It's unbearable. Now, I wanted to say, I do watch some. I do follow some American footy. I also do a show for the local soccer team, the NPSL team, the Annapolis Blues. So during the summer, I do their show as well, and I have fallen in love with them. They're a blast. It's at Navy Marine Corps Memorial. They pretty much sell 10,000 tickets to every game, which when I go on road games, there's like 50 people, and it's all parents. So that's been very, very fun as well.
I was going to say that'll lead me into my next. I guess, Murr, I got a question for you, or a guest question. But I met Alan had dragged Sarah and I down to a game last spring, and the people we were talking to while we were tailgating for this Annapolis Blues game said, "Yeah, the expectation is we're going to break the league's record for attendance." I said, "Oh," and it's like, "Well, we've broken it 4 times, so we're breaking our own record again in succession." And he said, "I'm going to give you a frame of reference. We're expecting about 10,000. I was at a game in Frederick last week, and there were 17 people there. I was like, Jesus Christ!"
Yeah.
But
wild.
as we were tailgating, to give you kind of a frame of reference of the guest that we have on our show today, I noticed Sam was drinking a particular beer, and you don't have to don't hold it up. I said, "Oh, I got it," and he offered me one, and I kindly obliged and had one myself. And he said, "Yeah, this is my go-to sipping beer. I'm more of a whiskey guy, but when I'm sipping beer, this is what I like." Murr, it's Americana. Do you have any guesses as to what it is?
Oh, it's not Hulk Hogan's All American beer. Is it?
Hulk Hogan's All
No. It's more of a classic all American beer.
I can give one hint.
Okay.
I've told you where I grew up and what county I'm from. That should help.
I mean, I don't know. It's not a Yingling.
He's never left the Tucky.
Yeah, look, man. I'm a Cecil County boy. I ain't been nowhere. We're like,
You've wrapped your lips around one of these in your day, I can imagine. Sam, you can hold it up and tell them. Old Ice House.
Oh, the Ice House, baby. Yeah, the only reason we got the Ice House back in the day is because it had a little more booze in it. It was like 5.2%, I think.
5.5, baby.
5.5.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a trashy human being. I drink trashy beer. I don't drink any they do craft beers, and when we do our Patreon stuff, the other two will drink craft beers, and I'll take a sip, and I'm just like, I'm trash. I drink Ice House. That's what I do, and I drink it with like really expensive fucking whiskey because I have no real brain cells.
It's
just
one of
how
my
I
favorite.
operate.
It's one of my favorite things to go down there and record with Sam, and he's like, "All right, man, here's your Ice House, and here's your fucking pour of like 12-year-old whistle pig," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, let's fucking do this. This is great."
Roll, man.
Let's talk O's and X's.
So, Mur, I do have to say, last Friday's show, you broke my heart a little.
What'd I do?
You're talking about old fashions. You were like, yeah, and I drank it with rye bourbon. I'm like, there's two different types of whiskey. There's rye and there's bourbon, and just my heart hurts a little. No, it's when we talk about sales and stuff like that. And I'll make this part brief. Is we I've sold things like American single malt and rye and stuff like that. And I'll go to dinners and I will sit there and explain to everybody, there is not a single drop of corn in this whiskey. We are drinking rye. This is not bourbon. Everyone will drink it, look right at me and go, this is really good bourbon. I'm like, fuck.
Look, if it's brown, I'll drink it down. Okay. Yeah. I'm like you and your beer. I'm not picky. Okay. It doesn't have to be Whistle Pig.
Barrel. This is their, barrel proof. This was number 11 on last year's Whiskey Advocate top 20. That's a bit that myself and Graham always do. Each year, the Whiskey Advocate top 20 list comes out in December. Within 2 weeks, we get all 20 bottles because we're fortunate enough to have a very cool network. Even shit you can't get. Like if it's Uber allocated, you can't find it, we get it. We always get it. Wow. And then for 20 straight weeks, that is what we do each show. We go from 20 down to 1 and do each whiskey for 20 straight weeks, which is a lot of fun.
I think the last time I was there, he was doing like a closet clear out. And I drank fucking like everything under the sun. It was all top notch shit. It's always an adventure down there. It's good shit.
Alan, you got to come to one of the Patreon gigs since you're a Patreon.
I know, yeah.
We do at the end of the season for all the Patreon people. We do it at my house. I break out all 20 of the top 20 whiskeys, have all the Patreon people over, and I don't expect them to be any whiskey in those bottles at the end of the night. It's like, come drink, just that's what they're there for. Enjoy them, and nice indirectly part. They give us money. So as far as I'm concerned, they're helping pay for the whiskey. So the least we could do is let them fucking drink some. But then I get them really drunk and turn on the microphones and make them talk about it because that's what I gotta do.
If we had any middling EPL or Premier League fans who were like quasi, toting the line on what they might or what team they might want to support, I think you may have just shifted him into the whiskey there in the last minute. You sold him on. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in now. I mean, hit this guy up. I can get anything you want, anything, even the black market stuff. So what we're gonna do, Sam, and we'll give you some time to plug the DU football show. We're gonna drag you into some muddy waters here. We're gonna drag you into the middle class holes world and have you stick around for a bit in Fun Fact Friday. Are you down? Okay.
You can do that now. One quick thing you got to realize, though, right now there is one lone person just outside of the greater Frederick area, and that man is fist pumping and kicking his legs around and losing his fucking mind. It's the one listener we both share, Keith Kern. Yeah. Is losing his shit right now. Yeah. And if you know him well, he's a pretty calm dude. So I'm imagining right now, Keith Kern losing his fucking mind. Worlds are colliding. Everything's great. So I'm down. Let's do it, boys.
Keith Kern, best emailer in the business, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's right. He's got tickle our tummies on speed dial.
Solid emailer.
You all are welcome. I trained him that way because he used to send me like 10 paragraph emails, and I'm just on the show. I'm like, dude, get to the fucking point. This needs to be 3-4 sentences, man. We got to get to it, man. This is how we got to do emails.
Well, we did a bit about or a show about it was a clip where someone lost control of a hot air balloon, and Murr made the point to say, how hard is it to navigate one of those? And Keith says, there's one in Frederick. You should come and try. Murr, like, come on, Murr, let's do it. Get out there. So we appreciate the support. All right, so. Typically at this point of the stage or this point of the podcast, we do a bit. This is not necessarily a bit, but we're going to do a mashup of two articles coming by the great state of South Carolina. I don't know. What is South Carolina's nickname? What is it? The what state? Murr, you got family down there.
I wish I was North Carolina State. I don't know.
Palmetto State.
The Palmetto State?
I think it is the Palmetto State.
Because the tree's on the flag. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
so
accurate.
About 2 weeks ago, this is from NBC News. Police hunt 43 monkeys that escaped from a South Carolina research facility. That's right. Police search is underway for 43 monkeys that escaped from a research facility Wednesday night. This is out of Yemassee in Belfort County. So basically, 43 macaque monkeys escaped. Here's the thing of note: they use them. Oh yeah, the company works with monkeys to carry out clinical trials, including on brain disease disorder treatments. And it says one of the largest and most comprehensive non-human primate facilities designed specifically for monkeys in the United States. So macaques, that's important. Macaque monkeys escape. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
very
macaque
important.
monkeys, where they've been fucking with their brains, okay? So these are batshit crazy monkeys that apparently, I got a lot of monkey facts, by the way. These monkeys are not, they look, you may think a macaque monkey is only about 2.5 feet tall, but they can move about 30 miles an hour. They've got teeth, they've got claws, and apparently they're just running amok in South Carolina. But wait, there's more.
That's right. Macaques, gamecocks, and emus. Oh my, that's right. Out of Horry County, they are aware that up to 9 emus escaped from a family farm. Is it more? It's Artie Morris. Here's the good part. Morris told the station, he's the farm owner, that he's been battling cancer and he's too weak to wrangle the emus back. So there's 43 macaque monkeys and 9 emus wreaking havoc across the Palmetto State. Give us your initial thoughts. Where are your brains going with this? This is a movie in the making. I don't know where it starts and I don't know where it ends, but hilarity is ensuing somewhere.
No.
And they are telling residents to stay inside, which I don't know how you. When do you allow them outside, and when do you find the monkeys? How do you find the monkeys? And how do you contain the monkeys?
Because the monkeys are fucking. Like right off the bat, let's start there. We don't get this monkey situation under control. There's gonna be more monkeys. No time.
The greater question is, I mean, I hate to be the one to say it, who's gonna end up fucking the monkeys? Because there's some depraved fucker that's gonna end up fucking a monkey.
It is the South.
Global disease is gonna be unleashed because
that's what
some dude in South Carolina decided that's what he's gonna do.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. You got emus and monkeys. Like, there's definitely some sort of monkey pox, avian flu, fucking hybrid coming, right? This is how it ends, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's not 28 days later. It's this right now. That's what it's gonna be. No doubt about it.
Well,
we all know in the game, Mother Nature always fucking wins. Mother Nature is undefeated. We can try all kinds of shit. She's winning. She's going to win. That's how it's gonna work.
Some recently divorced bastard comes across 2 of them and says, shit, the ex-wife never let me have a threesome. Now's the time. There we go.
Right.
Let's get silly. I'll have the emu film in the corner.
Cuck emu. Oh man.
Well, Alan, I did have a field day with ChatGPT because I did ask. Well, I went ahead and here's the thing. I know they've got, quote unquote professionals. Is there such a thing as a professional monkey wrangler? They've got to be sending these people out into the woods. I don't know. I mean, they've already said that you really can't hit them with darts because they're too fast.
They're too fast. Yeah.
So I had asked ChatGPT, how many 170-pound men would it take to subdue a macaque, a monkey? And they're basically saying it would take at least 3 well-trained men to take down 1 monkey. So that means at 42 monkeys, you're looking at nearly 150 dudes to try to take down the monkeys. But then you factor in the emus. 3 emus per man. So you're looking at a force here of almost 300 and some human beings in a field, and ChatGPT does warn that at least one of the 3 people per animal is not going to make it out alive.
I like how ChatGPT even went that far. They were like, all right, here's an estimate, man, but we're telling you right now, somebody's getting their throat ripped out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who, but one of them is. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, and there is sure you can't return them back to that environment. You can't. Like it's no longer a sterile environment. Like, you have to kill them. That's what's.
Yeah.
There's no capturing. It's shoot them dead. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah. They rounded up 15 of the best squirrel and raccoon wranglers that the Fish and Wildlife Services had to offer in South Carolina, and then a montage in the movie ensued. It was like, all right, grab, let go, grab, let go. Grab. You're doing it wrong, damn it! They slap them, then it's them running. Like, Joe, are you gonna catch monkeys running that slow? The goddamn monkeys will be in North Carolina by the time we get the fucking them. And I'm just thinking of the movie of this.
Would be the ones fucking them. That's exactly who would be fucking them.
Those are the guys.
Perfect Freudian slip.
Can't let them get to North Carolina, damn it! Monkeys are here. This is the no-go zone right here.
Well, here's the question though. Like, okay, so you've got other countries like India, and then you've got places in like Thailand where monkeys are a legitimate problem. Does this just because, like Alan said, the monkeys are fucking in the woods. Soon you're gonna have more monkeys. If you don't contain all 40, I'd say at least 40 of the 42 monkeys, you're gonna have more monkeys. Is South Carolina effectively gonna become a monkey state? Where you have to go down and you have to feed them. You got to pay the monkey tax when you cross the state line. Like French fries, you go to McDonald's, you better buy some for the fucking Mr. McCall.
Yeah, like how long?
How long? In the Everglades, they just take over completely.
How long have they been out? How long? When did this happen?
The 7th is when the macaque monkeys got it. Well, at least that's when it was reported. The emus were a week later, so they're hot on the macaque trail.
So at least 2 weeks on the monkeys. So I'm just taking a look here. Worst case scenario, macaques 5.5 month gestational period. So we don't got time. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Look, it's not my state. I'm up here, fucking technically below the Mason-Dixon line, but you get my point. Fucking, I think we'll be fine. The monkeys take over South Carolina. That's their problem, and it could be a serious problem. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. What I think you should do, and you talked about, a town in England forming a new soccer club. This is the time you get a university going. The East South Carolina State Macaques, and against the South Carolina Gamecocks, and you form a real rivalry. Fuck Clemson. Tigers aren't in South Carolina. Yeah. Macaques are in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am going to give you the answer to a question you did not ask, but for rhesus macaws to domesticate a herd of emus, it would take roughly 1,000 years for them to hypothetically domesticate and utilize their forces. So you're not going to get any macaques riding emus. There's not going to be so at least there's that. They're not going to team up, but they could in fact kill them for meat, which will then, entice them to get the taste of flesh, hone their hunting skills. If you go into the woods with a stick, they do have the thumb. They can steal it from you, beat you down, taste for flesh. It can go on for decades.
I like the estimate for the evolution of macaques into fucking emu riding fucking death soldiers.
See,
about 1,000 years.
Murr's still holding out hope for that bit we did, I don't know, like 6 months ago, where they're macaque monkeys that are like jesters and piano players and poker dealers and bartenders at bars and, I don't know, somewhere in Thailand, put with a hat on, like, and you tip it. That's what he's thinking. He's thinking, you go to Charleston or, Columbia, South Carolina, and tourism is at its peak because of the macaque monkey entertainment. That's what Murr has in mind.
Why do you have a problem with that?
He's just getting served sweet tea on a wraparound porch by a macaque.
A little suit. It has to wear a little suit.
Yeah, a little teeny suit. Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm bucking in.
Thank you, because Sam, there's a tourist resort somewhere in the South Pacific where they train the monkeys to serve you alcohol. What is it, Wes? They also they do like horse racing, but the monkeys ride dogs.
They ride dogs, yeah. Alan also said if there's not like an odds maker with a chalkboard, wiping away stuff, yeah. He's not going.
A little visor, like a
I think these are. I think there's that one with the monkey rodeo is a beach town, and a little further inland at a couple bars they do have entertainment, and they called them bartenders. I don't think they do. I think they just the bartender pours the drink and they walk on the bar and put the drink down in front of the
Okay, well, the alternative here is to have the monkeys get wrangled up, taken back to a research lab, and have electrodes jammed into their brainstem, or they get to put on a fucking nice little suit, maybe put on some Premier League soccer, and give you a couple of rye whiskeys. Huh?
I am down for that.
I'm with it.
So, okay, barring some wild intervention amongst the macaques into this fantasia that you have going on with macaque entertainment, are the emus really endangered anything? I knew there was an emu farm in Port Deposit outside of where I grew up. Now, again, it was I assume the fence was electrified and they were contained within a couple acres, but are free-ranging emus detrimental to an environment?
130 pounds. They run up to 30 miles an hour. They are very strong. They're very agile. And apparently it would take, remember, it would take 3 men to wrangle 1 macaque. It would take 5 macaques to wrangle 1 emu. Now, again, this is without any kind of, this is men out there without any weaponry or nets or anything along those lines. But still, I mean, if the macaque to man ratio for an emu is pretty substantial there. That means it would take about 15 men to wrangle 1 emu.
It's like a SAT question, man. That's
an equation. I like it.
You're in South Carolina. There's three emus, 4 macaques.
You're gonna need to have a chart. They're not gonna be able to do that math down there, I don't think.
Yeah, right.
You're losing the important part of the message is if anybody in South Carolina is listening, do not fuck the monkeys, please.
Yeah, that's important.
Don't fuck the monkeys, okay?
Yeah. Condoms aren't even cool either. All right, just
no,
don't do
it. Because if you don't tell someone not to do it, they might think about doing it. You need to let them know morally wrong. Don't do it.
Right. You're better off fucking the emu.
Good point.
Don't fuck the emus either. Just don't. Just don't.
But I would say less of a chance of crossbreeding if it's the emu. Primate to primate love, you never know. You have one of those. Like, I don't know, the kid from Fantasy Island might pop out the other side.
Oh,
See, I'm thinking
animals. Don't fuck the animals. It's amazing that we have to say that, but you have to say it.
See, I'm picturing like an Outbreak 2 scenario. We can get Dustin Hoffman, Cuba Gooding. Cuba Gooding Jr. was his right hand man throughout the duration, because remember he was the chopper pilot. He did aces in chopper piloting school.
That's probably why I don't remember, because I don't believe Cuba Gooding Jr. can fly a chopper.
Outbreak. Who the fuck wasn't in that movie? Like that's
true.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman,
Kiefer Sutherland,
Renee Russo.
Yeah.
Was Renee Russo in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Renee
She
Russo
dies.
in that.
How dare
No,
you?
she doesn't. Sorry, she doesn't die.
How dare you?
She does catch the disease, but
The monkeypox.
yeah, but they have the elixir in time to
okay.
save.
That's right, because she takes a needle through the glove. That's right. I remember that. And that scared the shit out of me forever, because then I was like, just don't even touch a hypodermic needle. Never. It's not happening.
And it all started when that little macaque barfed on that dude, that hippie in California. He was like, "Hey, little fella," and that thing's like, "Blah!" and barfed all over his face.
Now, my question is, do you really think they were fucking with their brains, or you think they were doing something else to these monkeys, and they just figured like, tell them we were taking her with their brains. That's less, because remember, bats gave us COVID, right? So what are we doing? And by the way, where is Anthony Fauci? Haven't seen him in quite some time.
The good thing to know is that we don't do our shady experiments on U.S. soil. That we do them off U.S. soil.
Good point. Good point.
Always have faith in that.
The company secured a federal contract to run a colony of 3,500 monkeys on Morgan Island off of South Carolina. Don't know where that is. What, did these fuckers swim?
Dude, Monkey Island? That sounds like a fucking bad idea. That sounds awful.
There's chances at the island in Brazil with all the poisonous snakes than a fucking monkey island.
Yeah, 100%.
At least the poisonous snake, I'm bit, I'm dead, it's over, fine. But the monkeys, that'd not be good.
And all I'm saying is, if you're doing Monkey Island, you sure as shit ain't testing Maybelline on these motherfuckers. Is all. You know what I mean? Like we're doing something funny out there.
Yeah, they're not doing the latest conditioner to see if you get silky smooth hair. No, right.
Yeah.
It happens. They were saying, it's called Plum Island. Are you familiar with this? It's
Oh yes, we've talked about this before. Lyme disease.
I managed a project where they changed the air conditioning units there, and they were like big hush hush, like, yeah, you can't be fucking asking them what they do there. And I was like, that's the first thing I'm going to do when I see these people.
Yeah, we talked about this. They add the root. They have roots from Fort Detrick. That's how that kind of all ended up happening. Was after World War II, they moved the Fort Detrick shit off to Plum Island, and then basically gave us Lyme disease.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well,
long story short. Lyme disease.
They say, just for frame of reference, in 2016, they say 19 animals. They don't specify what creature it was. Escaped. They were able to get them 6 hours later. And then, according to the newspaper, 26 animals escaped in 2014. The agricultural department fined Alpha Genesis more than $12,000 over multiple incidents. Oh, 12 grand. Oh boy. Really? No, they can't have coffee coasters now.
Not going to be able to cover up their extension cords.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not getting extension cord covers. That's for damn sure.
All right, so is there any update?
Government, they figured out a way to fucking roll that into the next budget and make it a plus. Add to it. You're like, oh, that cost $3,000. Well, that goes on top of next year's budget. we'll find use for that $3,000.
Yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
Wes, have they caught any of these animals at all? I mean, I can see. I'm not as concerned about the emus because emus. I mean, you can't really. I mean, an emu is an emu. It's a fucking 130-pound bird. But a monkey, I feel like can win a pretty solid game of hide and seek whenever it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not seeing it. This is from 2 weeks ago. I'm not reading any. I haven't read, nor am I going to pull up any follow-up reports. This particular order doesn't showcase any capturing of macaques in South Carolina.
Well, the follow-up would be in the emu report because the emu report came out just a week, 2 weeks later. So if there's no update in the emu report.
The emu report is like 4 paragraphs, and it mostly focuses on this poor bastard with cancer who couldn't stop the mass exodus of emus.
All right. I got an update.
All right.
Yeah.
I wanted to do my news flash.
Yeah. Breaking. This just in from the fucking news desk. So 4 monkeys remain free of the 43 that escaped.
Wow.
So they must have had 300 highly trained fucking men or whatever you said.
They must have had 170-pound MMA fighters that are highly tactical and ready to go.
Yeah,
you kind
that's
of feel
pretty
like
much it.
your B and your C class guys that really weren't going to sniff the UFC. You're like, hey, listen, you're in shape. We got something for you.
Listen, man, that's intellectual property. You better believe fucking they had BlackRock on standby to fucking go grab them fucking macaques out of the trees. That's absolutely.
Well, if you had watched Outbreak, it was Cuba Gooding with a dart gun. All right,
that's true. Well, that's what I meant. Really, is that's what I meant by highly trained individuals. Cuba Gooding in a biosuit.
All right. You know what? I feel like that would be that's the story. I mean, I get it. It's fun to talk about 40-some monkeys being loose in the South Carolina jungle or whatever, but I want to meet the men who caught 40 monkeys.
Yeah,
that's reasonable.
Right. I want to meet. I want to meet the lieutenant. The captain of this secret co-ops mission, who went from small town to small town in South Carolina, questioned individuals, got people in the back room, waterboarded a few folk.
Definitely.
I just imagine it's 10 guys that look like Theo Vaughn. Well, I just took a bunch of soda can rings and started throwing them into the trees, and you never believe what fell out. That's probably how that went down.
Yeah, I'm feeling much more that's a red state. So some Gravy Seals guys were like, hey, let's go ahead. I've got a fucking artillery. Let's go fucking get them. Now, the only problem is I'm sure Alan's thinking the same thing. You got to ask him, be like, please tell me none of you guys fucked them. Please, just please tell me you did.
That's the thing.
Oh, I didn't get the name Gravy Seal for nothing. Okay.
Yeah. You know, like, oh yeah, the guy that they turned him into at fucking Fish and Wildlife was like, all right, buddy, you got to tell me. He's in like a fucking raccoon trap. Fucking guys wearing mossy oak from head to toe, and you're like, all right, did you fuck him?
Yeah.
You didn't fuck him, did you? You need to tell us. We need to know.
They made every member of the macaque militia pee in a cup. Like, we'll find out one way or another. Just be easier if you told us right now. We'll cotton swap the tip of your pick.
We need to know.
You got to tell us. We're not saying that we weren't making monkey aids, but you need to tell us.
Yeah. And it's like you're not going to tell my wife, are you? We're sworn to secrecy. Yes, I did. Then they just shoot him. Boom. All right. Anybody else? Kill him right there.
Somebody notify his wife.
That wild bastard macaque, he took his gun out of his holster and popped one into his chest. Ugh, crazy bastard. Well, that's the tale of the macaques and the emus.
Christ. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight thinking about Gravy Seals. I'm writing a movie based on that alone.
Yeah. Well, let's add that to the list, actually.
Oh, it's 100% on there after tonight.
Gravy Seals. All right, let's expand our craniums if we haven't gotten smarter already. Let's get to some facts and let's bunch them together on the end of a week, Friday. Let's have those two things. Fuck.
Let's get to it. Let's give you 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. OMG! Facts! Brought to you, of course, by our good friend the Cuckster. You can find him over on Instagram, soon to be making his way over to the old TikTok.
Ooh.
What's the Cuckster up to these days there, Wesley?
Well, the Cuckster has showed a great deal of jealousy towards the attention that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and that relationship has spawned and taken over the NFL. And some passerby asked about his opinion about it, and he gave a very, very candid answer.
And what is the timeline looking like for the Cuckster to make his way over to the TikTok?
Tomorrow. The Cuckster will make it happen.
He's got to find some.
By the way,
time.
the Cuckster got a new mustache. He's got to groom.
Oh, good, nice. Did you happen
the Cuckster wasn't in the quarter with the emu? That's all I know.
He got a one-way bus ticket to South Carolina.
Plenty of watching going on out there.
Did the Cuckster get a chance to see the Cuck chair content I sent over in the group chat earlier today?
The Cuckster took a peek at that, and it's a co-ed sauna with a cuck chair right outside of it. Yeah. That's lovely, man. That's absolutely fucking ingenious, if you ask me.
Mer said pre-soiled, so it's fucking good.
And by the way, this week's Fun Fact Friday also being brought to you by the DU Football Show. Doug, tell them one more time, Sam, tell them all about where can they find your podcast? All
right. Hell of a thing to follow. DU Football Show, wherever you get podcasts. It's short for Drunkard United, but DU Football Show is what you need to know, all that. And DU Football Show on all the social medias, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky, all of that. We're on everything. And we stream live every single Monday night. So wherever you get your streaming, if it's like Stitch or YouTube or anything like that, we're on all of that, all of it at DU Football Show. Come check us out. Love to hear from you. If you're new to the show from here, please reach out directly. Let us know. If it's on X, Twitter, that's me directly. So let me know that you checked out the show. Love to hear from you.
Perfect. Let's get to it. Did you know in the average trick-or-treater's bag, there's around 5,435 calories?
Huh. I thought that'd be low. That sounds low.
That sounds low.
5,000 calories is a lot, though, man.
I mean, 2,000 plus is like your full day breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yeah. I guess I'm thinking like, okay, so you're saying average, and then there's a lot of 5 and 6 year olds that trick or treat that have that little pumpkin that can only carry so much, where then you get the dickheads like myself at 10 and 11 who ran to every house and had a lawn sized garbage bag completely filled to the gills. So I get it. Yeah, 5,000. Yeah.
Pillowcase, got to be a pillowcase. King size pillowcase. Fill that fucker up.
Well, like,
Yeah.
all right, for frame of reference here, right? I was just picking a candy bar, a full size Snickers bar, like your standard Snickers bar, not king size, not mini, is 280 calories.
That's not bad. I thought it'd be more.
Exactly. So, like, I mean, just put that in perspective. You got to get to 5,000 fucking. That's a shit ton of Snickers bars, buddy. Like, yeah. So that kind of makes sense.
And the
Now,
Halloween
obviously,
candy now, by the
Yeah.
way, is like nothing. Like your Snickers, like your little bite-size Snickers bar, like
yeah,
thing.
you get the little guys.
It's about the size of like I don't know, less than the size of a nickel.
Gotta say, it's
barely-
a goddamn travesty. That's why I'm a full candy bar house. Got to do the big boys. I also don't get hardly any trick or treaters, so it works out well. It's like I get like 20, and then I have like 5 left over. It's pretty great.
Dude, we bought candy and we live in an apartment. We don't even have people don't even come here. We knew people weren't coming. We just got it anyway.
Well, and if you want to treat, go on TikTok and search for ring cam trick or treat. It's just the most dickheaded little kids. Because here's one thing that I've noticed that's happened a lot recently over the last few years is people will just leave a bowl outside and it's just like, hey, take 1 or 2. And no, there's the best one that's gone around is there's this kid and he's wearing a fucking Cub Scouts outfit and he walks up with this king-sized pillowcase. He goes, fuck you to the ring camera and then just dumps the whole bowl, throws it over his shoulder and walks away.
It's a goddamn inspiration right there. Good for that kid.
Yeah. Hey, at least he gave the finger. That's
Fuck around and find out. That's what you deserve. That is exactly what you deserve.
I appreciated his chutzpah. I appreciated the fact that he was like, he wasn't trying to sneak. He wasn't trying to pretend to grab a handful. And no, it's like, fuck you. This is what you get. Goodbye. I'm gone.
That's the same entrepreneurial kid that'll be at school the next day selling candy for 5 cents a piece because he's got so much.
It's true.
Yeah. This is called socialism, and then all the kids are like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about? It's gonna be a Snickers, dude."
Give me a candy, man.
It's called capitalism. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry,
that is capitalism.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Did you know? In the 1920s, popcorn was banned from movie theaters because it was too noisy. How's it not too noisy now then?
Well, in all fairness, in the 1920s, they also banned alcohol. There was a lot of looky-loos really pressed about things. So of course they would be like, nobody had a drink, so everybody was uptight. They're like, fucking popcorn's too loud.
Well, I'm also thinking about this. Hey, Alan, what year did the talkies come out? Because weren't these silent films?
The talkies.
If these are silent movies too, are you really gonna ruin Chaplin's dialogue with a fucking mouthful of Crunch and Munch?
Over to the moving picture show? That's a good fucking question. I was really gonna say
30s.
I
30s
gotta look
is
it
when
up. Is
talkies
it the
came out.
30s?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. But even then, the sound systems weren't fucking quality. You know what I mean? So that maybe popcorn was too loud in a 1920s theater. You know what I mean? What are they playing it? What are that? Is there what are you even playing that through? A fucking phonograph?
No, it's probably literally just some guy in the corner diddle-diddle-diddle-dee.
It's an actual live fucking performance.
Yeah.
That's probably true too. Yeah.
If they were smart, it'd have been a macaque sitting there. Yeah. I don't know. My only guess was it was they slightly caramelized it. They're like, oh, popcorn sucks. You need to make this better. Let's put some sugar on it and roast it. And so people are like, but I think Sam's theory about just people being too sober and a very hairpin trigger towards anything in life. Yeah.
Hold on.
probably what it
Wait a
was.
minute. I get Sam's point about booze was illegal then, but do you guys get juiced up when you go to watch Interstellar in the theater? What do you?
Maybe.
Well, I'm just saying in general, they had already banned alcohol, so why not ban more shit? Just ban it all. That's kind of the thought process there.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't so much juiced up at the theater. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a cocktail afterwards, enjoy myself, enjoy some wine downtime, and that you don't even have that to look forward to.
It's popcorn, man.
Or because you didn't have a drink, you're just really fucking bitter. You're just angry in general.
Yeah,
And then things like somebody crunching on popcorn too loud is what sets you off. When all you really needed when you got done with your day at work was a fucking beer. Just one fucking beer and you would have been fine.
Give me my ice house. Shut your mouth.
The dad at the theater was like, I'd do anything for a rye old fashioned right now. God.
Rye old fashioned.
I was reading the can. I thought that's what the can said.
Well,
sorry.
The quote was rye bourbon. Was a rye bourbon old fashioned.
Yeah, it was. To Murr's defense, it was a pre-made can of. But it wasn't. I was going to say can of alcohol that was labeled old fashioned. You have like margaritas, martinis, things like that. Old fashioned.
I'm very familiar with them. I probably even know the brand if they're like the little 100 ml ones.
It's like a black can. But again, I thought it would be like a mixed drink, and it was just like, oh, this is whiskey. This is whiskey.
Yeah,
this
all
is
an old fashioned is whiskey with bitters and sugar. That's it. That's all it is. That's it. Little twist of lime. I mean, a little twist of orange. Honestly, but the boys were talking about it. That's a drink you need to have at a bar. Like a well-made one.
Oh, yeah.
Is fucking phenomenal. It's great.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't given up on it. I just wasn't expecting that at 11 o'clock at night.
We'll have a nice one in December here in a couple weeks. Yeah, we'll have a good one.
You know what would kick it up a notch? Throw some popcorn on the top of that puppy. That's
right.
some crunch.
I deal a lot in DC and Baltimore bars, and believe me, I've seen cocktails with popcorn before. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I believe that. You know, it accents the buttery notes of the fucking whatever you're drinking. See, he knew exactly where I was going.
The butter on the popcorn?
No. My hipster douchebags. They're my hipster douchebags. I adore them. But they're still hipster douchebags. That's what some bartenders are. They are what they are. I love them. They're my people. I totally get them, and I will listen to them talk about things till the end of the day. But at the end of the day, yeah, we can be a little pretentious from time to time.
Definitely.
Did you know the bumps on toads are not warts, but skin glands? The fuck does that mean? Now, the skin glands. I feel like this is like a Pfizer commercial. Like, do you have skin glands? Like, I mean, what? There can't be skin glands, right? Because wouldn't that mean that the glands produce skin? So they're glands, but what are the glands of?
No, because we have multiple different kinds of glands in our skin. They're just really
but we have,
tiny
but specifically they would be like sweat glands, or they would excrete something. You can't just call them skin glands, because to me, if you say it's a skin gland, it's a gland that excretes skin.
I'm gonna assume that was the chosen fucking term for fucking brevity on your calendar. Exactly. Like you see that 3x5. I don't think they had a fucking a good enough place to give you the rationale on fucking skin bumps. But yeah, no, they I think they're like, it's like what makes poison, if some of them are poison, or what makes them just taste bad to predators and shit. You know, I think that's what those are on toads, though.
Actually, I had to have an uncomfortable conversation with my dad about Mike Tyson licking toads, because apparently he gave that interview again. He was
nice.
Like, I was licking toads, and I decided my ego needed to come out and play. Like my dad's like, they lick toads? I was like, okay. How much psychedelic knowledge do I need to explain right now?
Have you heard of LSD?
Let's start there.
See, I thought
there's a way to get high or fuck it. It's been tried. If you're, I can get high by doing this. Most people are like, yeah, I'll give that a go. Why not? Let's give it a try. See how it feels.
That's a good point. Yeah, licking a toad. See, when you said poison, I thought poison was when the band Poison plays and it goes out through the airwaves anywhere, any speaker. I just thought that's how it got excreted through. I thought the speaker is the gland, and poison
if you hear poison, you just die. Yeah, I mean, that's possible.
Yeah. That's what Poison Ivy did when she was like, excreting her poison.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
What are you talking about?
Off the rails. Off the rails.
Sorry, I have a toad over here. I've been licking it.
By the way, I did learn this, though. You don't lick the toad. You actually like press it against glass, and then you wait for it to dry. Then you scrape the glass, and then you lick the dust.
Is that true?
That's the way I've heard that. At least that's according to Joe Rogan. Okay, and I trust him with all psychedelic compounds.
Yeah. Joe
Fucking
Rogan
crystal
seems to...
meth frogs and some shit. Jesus.
It's the name of my punk band.
Gotta get that frog ice. Need that shit right here. Give it to me, baby.
Did you know there is no area in Japan that is more than 100 miles from the sea?
I believe that. That's believable. I've seen
right.
a map. I've seen a map of the flat Earth. Yeah, I've seen a flat Earth map. I know what Japan looks like. Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. It's long and thin. It's not very girthy. I can get down with that. Yeah.
It definitely wouldn't fit on a round. Definitely wouldn't fit on a round surface. Is all I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think I'm thinking of it like I had family from the Midwest and hung out with a lot of my cousin's friends visiting there, and they found it just wild that I could drive, where I grew up and where I live now, roughly 2.5 to 3 hours and be at an ocean. As I'm thinking about this, 100 miles anywhere, you could be at a beach. Christ, that's not a bad little gig. Now, then again, I didn't grow up in Japan. I know very little about the culture, but 100 miles, you could be on the beach drinking some beer, licking some toads, smoking some grass.
It's probably all frowned upon mostly.
Yeah,
Fuck
right.
a monkey. They don't seem like a frolic at the beach type of culture, though,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's kind of a shame. Like all that oceanfront property is kind of wasted on a culture of people who don't really seem to appreciate it as much.
Well, it also is the North Pacific, right? So like, is it like it's not like it's fucking Bermuda? You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, I think it's a little rough. It's good fishing waters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily like I'm
Yeah, but
lounging at the beach.
In Hawaii, like it's essentially the same waters, just shifted over a little
No,
bit.
it's
Well,
further
south.
down on the flat Earth. Yeah, you gotta go. It's the
okay.
bottom right corner. Probably. Well, I guess depends on how you look at it. But yeah.
If you believe in latitude, it's down there.
I was so mad because one of the videos that ended up sending you guys an ad instead of the video was an Australian man with all of his teeth falling out, explaining about how it's got to be a flat Earth because when I flew south to Perth, I didn't fall from the back of the plane to the front of the plane. Case closed. That was his logic.
I definitely saw. I saw one recently where the guy was like, "You take off in a helicopter, and you hover straight up, and you could sit there for 2 hours, and you'd still come right back down to the same spot." It's like, yeah, it's because you took off from a helicopter. It's because you took off from a moving object, sir. You're moving along with it.
Right.
Inherently.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't hear too many Scottish people who can't be, much more than 100 miles from the sea, bragging about the fact that they can go to the sea and
That's a good point.
and have a good beach
Exactly.
day. It's like, no, we just sit there and drink beer and watch wild waves crash against rocks. You can get in, you ain't coming out.
And then we hallucinate and see monsters in the sea.
Yeah.
And finally, did you know black pepper was once so valuable that it was used as currency?
Hell yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
fuck yeah, bud. That was like there was only like 4 spices we were trading back then, and pepper was one of them.
And all of it was coming from India. So
Yeah.
think of like, because England ruled everything and conquered everything. Just imagining getting the pepper from India to England, like just the cost of that alone. Of course, it was expensive and hard as hell to come by.
I
Yeah.
know, but it's like if there's like one spice that I'm missing on like the recipe sheet, and it's like, do we have any black pepper? No, nah. Like that's the one. like today, I don't
know.
I
use
don't
a
give-
lot of black pepper.
I do too, but I'm just saying, I don't feel like any recipe that I have is going to be wildly enhanced by the black pepper that I've added or not added.
That's fair, but 1700s Englishmen, man, they tasted that pepper and they had no fucking idea. Their Caucasian minds fucking melted right out of their ears. They were like,
We
"Are
talked
you
about-
tasting this right now? This is incredible." Like,
Alan, to be fair, 2000s current modern day Englishmen are fucking wowed by
That's-
black pepper with
that's also true.
their food.
Yeah,
That's a good
This
point.
is it. Can you imagine the first bastard that licked his finger, dipped into pepper, and tasted it, and he's like, the O'Connells and the Murphys and the Smiths aren't going to fucking believe this. This is unbelievable. And then that man died. Just right there on the spot, just like his brain, his synapses blew, his brain into smithereens, and his friends are like, "I'll take his word for it," kind of. And they took it back to England.
You know, the worst part is it probably wasn't even like it wasn't even that advanced. It wasn't ground pepper yet. It was just like a peppercorn. Somebody was like, "Here, chew on a couple of these." And some fucking, you know, Charles Monroe Thackeray the Third was like, "Shoop." Oh fuck! These are spicy, and boom, an entire fucking trade and fucking slave trade to go along with it was born. Beautiful.
And Alan, historically great teeth. I'm sure they probably cracked a tooth in there too.
Oh yeah, at least
That's
one.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
But currency, Nick. What do you think it was?
That's
like
crazy.
by the vial, by the ounce.
Chests.
I know the I know the drug trade has been existent for a long time. They do it by the gram, by the kilo.
Yes. So I think at that point it was just fucking random weights, stone. You know,
No, it was probably all class system. It was probably just the upper class had it regularly and nobody else did.
They didn't even weigh it. They didn't even weigh it because they had so much of it. They didn't need to count it. It just wasn't other people's anymore. They were like, "This is ours now. Doesn't really matter how much we have. We have all of it. How's that?"
How much do you?
Wars figure this out. That's what we can't let them know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you have? Enough to never run out for me. So how much that is. Just
I was gonna say a shit ton. And that's where it was born. A shit ton. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Bam.
And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
All right.
Love it.
Fuck it. I was typically, Sam, I tell you what, this is where we have the guest exit stage left, but we have a segment on Before You Go. Are you ready? You want to stick around?
Boys, I'm here. I'm sticking.
All right.
I listened to the fucking show. I'm with you. I know the show. Let's do it. I'm with
All right.
you boys.
Today on Before You Go, folks, if you are in Australia and you happen to have some time on your hands, you could take part in a countrywide study where you track your farts. That's right. I'm not even going to, it's an acronym. I think it's CSIRO, but it's CSIRO, are asking people across the nation to track their flatulence over 3 days through a free and purposely funny Chart Your Fart app. You can chart things such as stench, loudness, duration, linger, and detectability, and all of them have a meter or a metric where you can drag your finger. And some of these, like stench, odorless to toxic, loudness, silent to deafening, duration, brief to eternity, linger, fleeting to perpetual, and detectability. It has discrete, and then something. There's a goddamn thing that's blocking it. I'll get to it in a minute, but I guess this seems like something. Basically, gut health.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. You can check a lot. I mean, research is only as good as the data we have. There's a lot that can be determined by gut health, what you eat, how you eat it, how you chew, what you're eating at certain times a day. People pass gas 18 to 14 times a day, but up to 25 times, as experts say. Well, shit, I'm well past that. Yeah. The bell curve was created on this for your boy here. Bring this stateside. Bring this stateside. I will pose as an Australian. I'll put on a shitty Australian accent. I'll be your best Hugh Jackman and Greg Norman you have ever fucking heard, which by way is the worst you'll ever hear. And count my farts.
As a gentleman of larger carriage, son, you fuck up, man. There might be a little flatulence. This body was not built by mistake. It wasn't like I woke up and went, "Oh, how the fuck did this happen?" Clearly, my diet is not the best. So I would imagine I'd be a prime candidate for this app. Absolutely, you want to pay me money to track my farts? I'd do it for free.
Honestly, that's a good point.
By the way, detectability is on a scale from discreet to blatant. And I guess all of this is subjective upon the value of the fartee. But I guess all are things if it's a free study like that. But I'm going to share this with you because this is fucking genius, if you ask me. I mean, there's the idea.
Nice. That's easy.
Yeah, and you can just, sit there. And by the way, I already proposed to my fucking fiance. Stop showing the fucking engagement rings.
Nah.
But
detectability. Okay, so hold on. See, I know what you're saying. Like, it's all in like the eye of the beholder here, or the eye of the befarter. But like, so detectability, is that based on like what you think other people are going to like? Oh shit, did they hear that? Do I need to like run my foot across this this carpet to make it make that sound again? So they think yeah. No, I mean I mean, if it's for gut health, I mean, this is perfect, like, Maha territory. Show Bobby Kennedy this. Everybody, it'll be mandatory on all phones.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I will say for detectability, mine would always be, like, at the far end there because as a big man, if there's anyone who farts in public, everybody immediately looks at you because you're the disgusting fucking beast. And so all the time, I'm be like, if it was me, I'd have fucking told you. I'd flat out say it. Be like, just farted, sorry. I totally, because everyone's just going to assume, oh, the fat kid did it. That's what they're always going to think.
But see, my question would be, though, like, if you're going to the detectability scale, are you basing it on stench? And does that, or are you basing it on loudness?
So there is a stench. There is a stench meter. Odorless.
I know, but see, but then are you basing it on like, oh God, or are you basing on, that was a loud one? Like, because maybe it didn't stink, but it was loud. Like, is it based on your thought process upon the fart itself?
Yeah,
I would think it would be.
I would think so.
I would think the detectability would be, did people around you detect it? That would.
Yeah, but we're in our heads a lot, though. And if you're the one putting
stench, we can base that, right? Detectability, did people notice? So are you looking up and seeing people are going, what the fuck just happened? Like, who died? Right? Like, that's what I would think detectability
I also
is.
think, it's fluid too, right? Like, if I pass a fucking,
I hope it's not fluid.
You know, well, yeah, that's fair. But like, if I got a fucking, an SBD, a silent but deadly. But and then like it wafts over, and the wife is like, well, the detectability is not super high. I mean, it's there. It's maybe halfway. Halfway. Toxicity up there. You know what I mean? But what if I cut one loose and it's booming, it's loud, and it stinks? The detectability's sky high.
I know, but Alan, my point is though, like, let's say you're outside, right? And there's a wind, there's a breeze, and for you smell like, oh shit, I smell that. That's bad. But everybody else is too far away or downwind, so detectability then in that point it's low because you got away with it.
Well, I think any outside fart detectability is low.
Okay, all right. That's what I say. That's a strange.
Hold my beer.
Well, see now here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is there a note section? Like, I would like to jot this down. Be like, it was outside standing in a parking lot. Nobody that fucking reeked, but nobody got it.
I mean, there's got to. If you're gonna take this fucking seriously, there needs to be notes. There needs to be context. It can't just be a score. Like, there needs to be context to what happened.
Yeah,
there needs to be an optional, like, 2,500 character note section about the fart that you treat. And I think that is a good point, because this is like a tree falling in the woods. If I farted the most blatant, fucking disgusting, foul ass fart that I've ever smelled in my life in a parking lot, and no one else was there to smell it, what are you going to take? Are you going to take my word for it? I suppose, as according to this app and this study, maybe they bring you in.
Detectability is low because nobody was there to see it. I think detectability is more based on the surroundings of people around you and less about what you actually do. I mean, you're going to detect it. You're going to know you farted, right?
Right. Now, here's my other question. So let's just say you opt into this, which it's totally optional. And you could get alerts based upon other optees farting,
like a wave, almost like wave, like you're aware of the farts around you now.
Oh.
Yeah. You get an alert that someone just dropped Hiroshima.
Yeah, like you get like a one's like a little crop duster plane, like a biplane, and you're like, somebody just walked through this room, fucking lit it up, got it. Stay out of there for a second.
Yeah.
Fuck, maybe we're on. We might need to cut this out of the fucking show. We're on to something here.
This is good, dude. No, because like, okay, so
looking across the room at the other dude, you see he's looking down at your phone. You just kind of like give each other that nod, like, yeah. Yeah. That just happened. I like that. I like that.
Like I'm thinking of like a mall situation, like 1990s. You're in the mall and you have this app, and like to avoid J.C. Penney's the lingerie section because Grandma Jenny just fucking dropped one in her fucking in her underoos. Like nope, we'll go over there in a minute.
Hold on.
It lets you know where the traffic patterns are. I fucking love it.
Hold on. So you were only avoiding the old grandma lingerie section because of farts in there?
Well, when I was a kid, and
that was the best three words or 4 words.
When I was a kid, around Christmas time, like when we were 10 and older, like we would be allowed to like go like window shop around the store. My dad would be like, all right, you guys go look around, make a Christmas list, see if there's anything you guys like, blah, 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 blah. I would inevitably end up over in the bra and panty section just to look at the fucking, like the cardboard card that comes with the panties so like you could see the model, So it was like live action. Like,
you could see
I could
the
imagine
model.
wearing the actual garment that I was looking at. So it was like looking at titties before titties were available. Sorry.
Mur, you know what? I'll support you. As a Gen Xer in his 50s, the Sears and JC catalog has gotten into a lot of hard nights when you were a younger man.
I got caught by my mom because I tore a page out of the fucking booklet and put it in my suitcase because we had to go to South Carolina every year, Wes and Alan, like. So I'd have to go stay with my grandparents for a week, and I tore a couple pages out of the catalog. I'm like, what's this doing in here? And like, I don't know.
And back then, just monkeys running around. So I mean, the boy had to do something.
Yeah, it's like I need something here.
In my mind, I thought it was like a 500. Like your mom was thumbing through 500 straight pages of a J.C. Penney's catalog and realized that pages 78 and 79 were gone. Like, answer. Someone took 78 and 79. Where are they? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. It's a misprint.
I can tell you right now, they're one page now.
Christ.
Yeah. Call up what's his face from Unsolved Mysteries. What was his name?
Is that Robert Stack?
Yep.
Yeah. Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries. Young man sniffing panties in a farty section at J.C. Penney's.
Farty section.
Detectability 10.
Lord.
Fucking brilliant.
All right. Well, that is before you go. Sam, one more time before we let you go, where can the listeners find the Drunken United Football Show?
Very simple. DU Football Show on all the social medias. DU Football Show, wherever you get your podcasts. We are on every single platform, and we stream them live every single Monday night, normally around 10 o'clock Eastern time. Great show, talks about the entire league, not just the Big Six, and bias as hell. We get drunk, we say fuck a lot, and we kind of talk about footy. That's the gig.
Yeah,
I dig it.
That's it.
I dig it. All right. Well, yeah, man. Appreciate having you on. Don't be a stranger. I think. Shit, man. We're gonna have to round up more emu, macaque, and fart detectability bits for you. But once we find the perfect storm of those, we know the guest to call.
When you're ready to do like a good solid 3-hour marathon of a show, you get me and my co-host on at the same time, and it's over because we'll all talk forever. It'll just go on and on and on, and Keith Kern will be so fucking happy. It'll be the most beautiful thing.
And then I understand a congratulation is in order for your co-host, correct? They just brought in another child to the world.
Almost. It's going to be late December, but it'll be his fourth, and he'll be gone for a while. So if anybody wants to hear your boy Alan talk a little footy, he'll be on the show a few times. I'm got a whole kind of stable of about 10 different people to kind of help fill in and do shows and stuff like that. Because it's also right when there's like 2 shows a week, because there's fixtures on the weekend and then in the midweek. And then there's, this is one for Mur, the FA Cup. This is something you have to check out. Okay. Yeah. It'll be the first weekend in January is the FA Cup. It is the March Madness on fucking steroids. So it is all of professional football. So if you're like the World Series of Poker, if you got 10 grand, you can sit at the fucking tournament, right? You're allowed to do it. And what you'll have is teams from the National League and from the National League North and South Division, which are not professional organizations. Like that's where Wrexham used to be.
Wrexham
can advance to the third round. Once it gets to the third round, they introduce the championship, which is the second division, and the Premier League. It is a blind draw. So Arsenal could be facing Manchester City in the third round of the FA Cup. There is no ranking. It is a blind draw completely. Or Manchester City could have to go to fifth division Solihull Moors, go to their stadium that has 5,000 seats.
Wow.
With no heated fields and a dressing room that is a dirt floor with wood benches.
Yep.
That's where the biggest club in the world has to go. And this is a tournament where David faces Goliath and David wins a fucking lot. In the third round, you see a shit ton of upsets. And normally by about the fifth round, it goes back to being chalk and that's how it rolls. But that weekend is fucking magical.
Yeah, the third round and the fourth round
and
are usually interesting.
So do you get specifically? He got to play. It was his team against his arch rivals, which is Sunderland, and it's the Tyne-Wear Derby. Derby, spelled like a derby but pronounced Derby, is a rivalry in England, and you just get shit like that all the time. All these big rivalries happen, and little engines that could beat massive clubs. It's fucking fantastic. It's absolute. It's crack. It's great.
Do you get a home and home, or is it a one-time shot? Then it's
one and done.
Okay.
You lose, fuck you. You're gone. Bye.
Yeah.
That's
and the good thing. Yeah. And the good thing is it helps. Like, so a lot of those smaller teams that do make it into that third round draw, like they're pretty much going to get somebody of decent size that's going to draw a gate. So like, yeah, they only hold 5,000, but they probably only bring in like 2 every fucking weekend or whatever. They're getting all 5,000, and there's going to be fucking concession monies pouring in. So these little clubs get fucking real bumper weekends basically out of the tourism that like a big club brings to coming to those little clubs. So like you said, that whole Wrexham, like a small town being affected by it, a small town is affected by these. Even if they lose, they might go and get their heads kicked in. But Newcastle sent fucking 3,000 traveling Geordies. You know what I mean? And they're spending money in town. They're getting hotels. And they're fucking boosting the little local economy. And that's fucking huge for these little clubs that make it to those rounds.
And then if a little club plays at a big club, like if they play at a Premier League club, normally the Premier League club just goes, the whole gate's yours. Because they don't need the gate. They don't. So suddenly they get 40,000 ticket sales. Pays for your bills for the fucking year. Like your team is now in the black for the fucking year, which for those little tiny clubs it's massive.
Yeah, I forget who we played. Sam, you might be able to refresh my memory, but in the other cup, there's 2 cup tournaments. The other cup, I forget who we had to play, but they had a bad flood and storm, and their stadium was ruined.
Wimbledon.
So they couldn't. Yeah, it was Wimbledon. So we couldn't play the fixture at their stadium. So they had to be rescheduled. They had to come to Newcastle. Newcastle, we sell that bitch out. There's almost 60,000 people in that stadium. Fucking all the gate was theirs. We gave them the gate because they need to fix their stadium and they need help.
I was going to say,
it doesn't matter to us.
Not even just the gate. I think you also gave them money too, right after it happened. It was like, here, we'll try to help you fix your field.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so Murr, that's a fun weekend to check out. But anyways, long way to talk about it. We do a really fun fucking show. If you like the word fuck and you like hearing about alcohol and you want to hear about the league as a whole and not take it too seriously, that's what we are. Because I mentioned I like that old guy talk radio. So for me, if the show isn't entertaining, what's the fucking point of doing it in the first place? So it needs to be funny as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Love it. Love it. Well, okay. I extend a great dear thank you from the Middle Class Souls to the DU Football Show and yourself. Come back anytime. This was a lot of fun.
Yep. And Graham, who knows if we'll ever see him again. He's about to have his 4th daughter. couldn't happen to a better guy. Couldn't happen to a better guy. It's exactly what he. I know him from his younger days. Him having 4 daughters is very fucking fitting. Very fitting.
Is he just holding out for a guy? Is he holding out for a male or?
They were already this. I don't want to get too much of his business. This one was not expected, and they were already talking. Maybe it's time to call it a day. He's not like, no, we're gonna keep doing this till I have a boy. He's already reserved. He's like, I'm a girl dad. I'm fine with that. We're good.
He is a girl dad. For sure.
But thank you very much for having us, and hopefully we get Graham on here soon too. I would love to have him. It's I know how to run my mouth, but he's really, honestly, he's the brains. He's just a stupid wealth of knowledge when it comes to the game, and can just refer to like a player from like the 1970s. And you're like, where the fuck do you get that from? It's
He don't know shit.
That's perfect. I can now say I paid him a compliment, and then you shat all over it. It'll be great.
That's exactly what he's gonna expect.
Love it. All right.
Nice.
So, thank you, Sam Houston from the DU Football Show, for paying the middle class host a visit. It was a long time coming. I had a lot of fun. Alan, tell all the emu and macaque wranglers in the great Palmetto state of South Carolina where you can find the middle class holes.
For macaque wranglers specifically, you go to www.xhamster.com. You'll find a lot of macaques there, buddy. No, for all of your middle class holes, fucking, I don't know, content is their shit. You can find us on all your favorite social media platforms. We're at MDL Class Holes on Instagram and Twitter, or X, or I don't know. What is it now? Is it anything? Anyway, you can find us also as the Middle Class Holes on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and all that shit. Maybe do we need to get other shit? What is other shit? What's Blue Sky?
I don't know. Big Blue Sky. Yeah, what is that? I heard that.
That's
Blue Sky. That is
now
new Twitter.
That's new Twitter. It's liberal Twitter, essentially. Apparently,
okay.
But see, here's the thing. We wouldn't do well there because it bans everything. All quote-unquote offensive/hate speech is...
I gotcha.
Yeah, it's censored. It's censorship Twitter is what it is.
Just kidding. Yeah. I don't know. I have one. I haven't used it yet.
A couple listener comments this week. This one is coming from Interstellar's genius ending or just confusing. Eric Frazier writes, "This is the one." And the logo he put on there is a bullseye with a dart right in the middle of it. Murr, I think the intent of that is, as you were explaining earlier, that your explanation is just as confusing as the ending, and you don't want to seem stupid because you don't get it, but it is a great ending, something like that. So.
Well, it's that, like, you don't want to sound dumb by saying you didn't think the ending was good, because if people think you didn't think the ending was good, it's because you didn't understand it, man. But you did understand it, but you don't think it's a good ending, but it's all circular reasoning and logic. So it's just like, yeah, Interstellar, great movie. That you don't talk about the ending. Leave it alone. This
comes via let's see, it's on TikTok. It's the servers eating food. Huckleberry writes 100% munching on untouched food. Thank you. We unite. Put our half-eaten chicken nuggets together, and we get Captain Server. I didn't think about that all day,
dude. Yeah, man. It comes back. I think we all summed it up. Alan, you eat. There's an untouched chicken finger, down the hatch. Wes, fries, down the hatch. Me,
gone.
Would I make out with the person who was eating the meal? Down the hatch. That's it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And chicks don't eat all their food 90% of the time.
It's bad true. I eat so many.
That's a good point. This is coming from Elon. There's two on Elon Musk Takeover TikTok, and there's one on YouTube that has since been deleted. I'll do my best to try to recover what was deleted. But the first on TikTok, Spike writes, "Twitter has always been awful."
I mean, it's all relative, though. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I find stuff I like on Twitter. I find stuff I'm just like, fuck you, cunt. like on Twitter. So it is what it is.
I'll be honest. I've kind of always hated Twitter. I've never really used it all that much.
I don't think it's user friendly, but I use it more. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say I use it more for like just for like the soccer supporters group. Like that's I don't even have my own Twitter. Like it's just for that because that was a platform. That was like the dinosaur platform that all the like Newcastle groups talked on, and now nobody talks on it. We just use fucking WhatsApp.
I generally go there and I find what's trending, and then I'm like, oh no, what did Joe Rogan say again? And then I hit latest and I scroll through. So I kind of use it as a kind of I'll use air quotes like a news app. But it's more of like the Zeitgeist of America news app. It's not really facts app. It's like, what are people talking about and why are they talking about it app? That's it. I mean, I don't trust it or not trust it. I just see what's going on.
Yeah. Vic Vera writes, Twitter is definitely better now since we are not getting censored.
Yeah.
I'll say this. From someone of my political persuasion, I do feel like there's more conservative content out there, and I think that bothers some people. And if that is true, that just tells me that whatever they were doing previously was a lot of like curation, if you will. They were definitely like blocking out certain people's tweets previous to Elon Musk's takeover.
Yeah.
Definitely. And
all
the other
social
one
medias do that shit.
But
that's
now
the problem with social media.
But I know, and I think that's why people view it now as the Wild West and think it's like, again, I don't think it's better or worse. I just think there's more.
I think I gained more useful knowledge from it before than I do now.
But again,
it's more sifting through the like before you could be like, oh, okay, there's a headline I want to check out. Now it's like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Okay, that's kind of interesting. That's ridiculous. Like, I don't know. There's just more like filler on it. I think it still serves the same purpose. I think it's just more noise.
See, I don't disagree with you, but I do feel like I find, what I'll call, and again, I'll throw the air quotes again, studies that wouldn't have shown up before, previous to his. More
people doing their own research.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff. A lot of studies. Yeah,
incredible self-done research.
It's like the flat earther who's like, see, helicopter go up, they come down, same place. See?
No,
done.
but the funny part is they never censored that. They never censored that information.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, that's a good point. The other one came from YouTube. Now that I'm going on this dry, I remember this because I responded and the person didn't respond, but it was on YouTube Short. Same one, Elon taking over Twitter, and it said something to the tune of debating with a liberal is like debating with a Ravens fan. They're both useless.
Oh, fuck. double whammy, I guess.
I was about to say, because I didn't even come out and like respond like, hey, we're all Ravens fans, all three of us. Yeah. And didn't get a response. And that has been brought down. Could not find. I didn't even know why YouTube does that. But whatever.
Well, you know what, too? Like, as a Ravens fan, like, I feel like I agree with, like, all the criticism, like, shot our way.
Oh, we're awful fans. We're terrible.
I think we're realists. Like, when people attack...
I mean, some of us are. We have a lot of fucking just alarmists.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I had a lot of debates during that last Super Bowl where they were saying the fucking lights coming down was, lights coming off at the Superdome. And then someone was saying, hey, when the lights come back on, it's like an old gym. It's like an old high school gymnasium where the lights are dim and they come back on. They don't just flash back on right away. You know that, Wes. And I was like, I don't know that. I'm not an electrical engineer.
Well, not just that.
I sure as hell don't know the complexities of the lighting system at the fucking Superdome.
But aren't both teams dealing with the same dim lighting? So, like, what's your point? Like, I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
I think the conspiracy there was momentum because we were beating the brakes off them boys.
The conspiracy, the Ravens fan that I was talking to's conspiracy is that if lights go off in a facility like that, when you turn them back on, it's not immediately like boom, lights, camera, action, let's fly. He said he equated it to like the high school gym that takes, I don't know, 10 minutes for full
warm up,
full luminescence. And I didn't even get into the debate. I was like, well, perhaps the lighting system at the Superdome is slightly more complex than that of Perryville High School's gym. I don't know.
Yeah, I would just venture to guess that the Superdome with the giant Mercedes-Benz symbol on the outside of it probably has some advanced lighting system.
Right.
But yeah, who are we?
Well, either way, somebody asked me about Harbaugh the other day, and I said, listen, John Harbaugh is a great football coach for 3/4 of a football game. He's the greatest 3/4 of a football game of the last quarter century. I would argue that Mike Tomlin is the best game-to-game football coach of the last quarter century. He changes we don't change our game plan per team. We're like, this is our offense, this is how we run it. Well, we're playing the Bills this week. So what? We're just going to run the same plays we are.
I don't know quite. Okay. I think the best X's and O's coach is Andy Reid. I think the best game facilitator okay, you give me the personnel, GM, whatever it is, whatever you put on the field, I am going to get the absolute most from these players and this personnel that you've given me. And that's not lack of X's and O's. Mike Tomlin has a lot of it, but in terms of the best, no, but like actual translating it I'm not going to make a mistake. The players may make a mistake, but the game plan is going to be so rock solid that I'm going to give this team the best chance to win. I think Tomlin is one of the best, if not the best.
Yeah, I think part of it too is I don't know. I get the feel more so now. The old Ravens teams didn't play for John; they played for Ray and Ed. Yeah, right. And now I think part of the team is playing for Lamar. The defense is kind of out there, in no man's land. There's I feel like there's no leadership. They are not running through a wall for John Harbaugh, but fucking the Steelers are running through a wall for fucking Mike Tomlin. You know what I mean? I think that's where the difference is. We are a better football team than the fucking Steelers, and they just beat us. He beats us. That's
drag you into muddy waters, and then you end up playing you end up looking back at the offensive sets, and you're like, why did we run that? Yeah. Because they fucking game planned it that way, and they made you do that. It's chess.
We should have put
you into doing it.
We should have put a 40 burger on those fucking scrubs, and we didn't, and it's okay.
Dude, somebody brought up the Mike Tomlin Jacoby Jones tripping incident on the sideline, and I was like, I fucking respect the shit out of Mike Tomlin for that. What are you talking about? Homeboy's got a fucking full-on sprint to the end zone. Goddamn right you run on the field. And, fuck it. Why not? Why not? What's the league do about it? Is it a touchdown? Is it not a touchdown? Is it a penalty? What's the penalty? I don't know. Let's throw some question marks on the field. I like my coach for that.
See, and I think Tomlin has one of the best sound bites of all time. Or one of the most underrated sound bites of all time. Playoffs, we played to win the game. We knew who they were, and we let them off the hook. All the great sound bites of all time. It was McNabb when he was with the then Redskins. The game ended at a tie, and he said in an interview, he's like, I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't know a tie in the NFL was a thing. And then Tomlin's team won a week later, an overtime game, and they said, "Hey, just want to let you know this is what Don McNabb said. Does your team know that?" And he was like, "I would like to think that my team and the personnel on the staff know that that's the possibility, but knowing some of the people that we have on this team, I can't say that with absolute certainty." We have some dipshits. Can't say that.
Basically,
can't say that for certainty.
Oh,
well, folks, appreciate you for tuning in. Sam Houston, thank you again from the DU Football Show. It was an absolute fucking gem. We're off next week. Enjoy your whatever the hell you're gonna eat. I don't know, your deep fried. You're probably on TikTok right now looking for what's the juiciest, most fulfilling turkey. I saw this. I know the deep frying technique is where it's at, but there's this guy that I follow who does just a variety of grilled, smoked, however you can cook meats. He does a 2-day brine.
That's too much prep.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
What do you mean? You put it in a goddamn bucket. You put it in the fucking refrigerator.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like a lot, but you got to make the brine. But like,
no.
no, I will say I saw on TikTok. I don't even know if it was TikTok. It might have been Instagram. It was a black lady. She's from Atlanta. And she was like, and she immediately was like, "We from Atlanta, so you know we got to make hot lemon pepper, fucking deep fried turkey." And I was like, "What the fuck did you just say, bitch?" And I watched this next minute and a half, and yeah, so Frank's Red Hot, fucking like a bunch of seasonings, like so much that the lady was like, "If it gets too salty, squeeze a couple lemons in there; it'll cut that salt." And I was like, "This, yep." I like where this is going. Mixes that shit all up, puts it in a syringe, juices that bad boy fucking up, fucking get it all nice, fucking put it in the air fryer, then bring it out and pour that sauce also all over the top of it, and then throw it in the oven for like 20 minutes and let it like caramelize. And boy, this thing looked fucking delicious, and it was quite juicy. And turkey don't get juicy, you know that.
Sandbird, yeah.
Yeah. So hot lemon pepper. If you're thinking about it, go for it.
Nah, lemon pepper's overrated. But I'll take all the Frank's Red
but
Hot.
hot lemon pepper. Ooh, that's different.
I'm telling you, the butterball, only the breast they do. That's where you get the juiciness.
That's
like,
probably
fuck
fair.
the rest of the bird, man. Because what happens
That's
is,
true.
I think because the dark meat takes longer than the white meat to cook, that if you get rid of all the dark meat and you just cook that white shit, that's yeah. So we're doing
See,
that.
that's fair because I'm not even a dark meat guy. I kind of don't like it.
Yeah. So get the butterball, only the breast,
breast.
and then do a ham. Because if you're gonna enjoy a meal,
I do a ham. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Ham is the ham's that we should have a change America Thanksgiving, and the ham is where it's at. The ham is
Well,
where
it's
at.
just that traditionally it's been like turkey for Thanksgiving, ham for Christmas, and everybody likes Christmas dinner more than they like Thanksgiving dinner. So they're like, fuck that. That's just I agree with you though. We should start migrating over to the pig. There's
I don't know.
plenty
You know,
of them.
what we've done in the last couple of years is steaks and cakes. Just abandoning turkeys, all like so. We'll make all the fucking sides. We get fucking crab cakes, and I'll make myself a nice steak. And fucking, good to go.
Yeah. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours from the Classics. So, I'll leave you at that.
Well, sometimes I may need a hand when I'm just too drunk to stand. I don't need your sympathy, keep your judgment too. Cause you just give it a little pull, and my dick's strong like bull, ready to satisfy my woman whole night through. I get drunk most every day. Everyone knows Scooter is a gay. Might be on his fuck, I'm still grinding like a pup. I fell down, but my dick's still up. I fell down, but my dick's still up. I fell down, but my dick's still up.